My name is Wahidah.
Hi, I'm Dan and we're Subsonic Eye. We play like indie rock, but a bit more like trying to do what the 90s indie rock was trying to do. I attended Baybeats for the first time as a fan like 10, 11 years ago. The band I watched was Monsters in Living Flesh. Like, it was just crazy that these are just guys who also live in Singapore. But then like the audience was like freaking going insane. Then I was like damn, like I could see this guy in the train, you know? It was very inspiring also because I always thought like, yeah, no one gives a shit about local music.
I think I also felt the same way. Like, I thought like, you know, not a lot of people care, but when you go Baybeats, it's like, it's massive.
You know, it's like that one weekend that everyone who is into local music will get together. If you're new to it, it's also a good gateway. I remember when I was younger, like I didn't know where to find all these bands.
When I went Baybeats, I probably knew like 2 of the bands.
Like if you're already going for a lot of the smaller local shows, and then when you see one of these bands play the Baybeats stage, like when like False Plaintiff played, that was sick, man. Maybe not discovered, but like I always heard of these like legendary old bands, and then it was because of Baybeats I got to see them, like Force Vomit. Now in the current landscape of the Singapore music scene, I realize like there's a wide variety in sounds now.
Generally, a lot of shows in Singapore is like mostly geared to one genre-ish. Yeah, so I feel like Baybeats, being the alternative festival, gives like all these bands like a platform and a chance to play.
There's kind of communities that came out of the whole Baybeats thing. Like Isaac from Cactus. I think like a couple years ago he organized a show called Beats, which is like all the rejected Baybeats bands. They all came together to organize a show because they didn't get in for Baybeats, which was like it was pretty sick lah. I think after we played Budding Bands, it opened up my mind to the things that could be possible. Because I was thinking like, oh, like if we could do this, what can we not do? Or like what can we do afterwards? So it was a great gateway into trying to achieve bigger things. It felt like a very organic transition from playing on the Baybeats stage to an overseas stage.
Baybeats like gave me the confidence that we are capable of playing like this kind of shows.
It also helped with the music writing part, because then now when we write music, the mindset is kind of shifted for so-called a bigger stage.
I think it makes us consider who's listening more.
Yeah, compared to like...
Last time it was just like, we're just writing stuff that we just want to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baybeats to us as a band, it was a good stepping stone to doing more things. And Baybeats to me as a person, it's a good escape, because for that one weekend, it's just good music. To me, it already feels like a hub for a lot of people around Southeast Asia to, you know, just fly in and watch the bands. Or even if, you know, you are a band from some other part of Asia and then you come here and play, you're also exposing yourself to all these other people. Yeah, and then like, you know, if you try to befriend these guys and then now you have a kind of network.
Yeah, so if you like ever want to play a show overseas or something, you can just hit them up.
Yeah, because when you find these bands on Instagram and then you can see like the network or the scene they're in. So it's a pretty cool, cool ecosystem lah.
Hi, I'm Els. I sing in a shoegaze band called Motifs. My first time attending Baybeats was probably when I was about 18 or 19 years old. And at that point, it was one of my first few exposures to alternative music in Singapore. So it was really cool to see people that looked like me or someone I could be when I was older. Yeah, they weren't like far away, distant pop stars from other countries. Like when I saw that, I thought like, oh, maybe that could be me one day. Our first time performing was under the Baybeats Budding Bands program. So it was a really big thing for us and we didn't expect to play Baybeats so fast, I think. Like, I remember after our first jam, we were sitting at this McDonald's and then we were like, okay, this looks like it's getting a bit serious and we're talking about our goals. Then we're like, okay, we want to write an album and okay, we want to play Baybeats. Our band performed at the Golden Melody Awards in Taiwan this year and Esplanade was the one who sent us there, so we were really grateful for that opportunity. So we felt like we had a responsibility to play well and to do well as a Singaporean band because that will be everyone's impression of us. But generally the feeling of playing and like that sense of accomplishment or like euphoria when you're performing is pretty much the same, and everyone is also so nice. So people will come up after the set to talk to us and say like they like our music, which is really surreal and even more so overseas. But because we got to go to Taiwan to play after we played Baybeats, it allowed us to meet like friends in Taiwan who would connect us with like other people. So there's this other shoegaze band from Thailand, Death of Heather, that played last year. And when we went to Taiwan this year, our friend was like, oh, I did their tour in Taiwan. And they said they really like your music. And then we were like, what? No, because we really like their music and we like their set a lot. And then we're going to Thailand to play a show with them in October after their Baybeats set this year.
My name is Nick. I'm in Blush and Marijannah and I used to be in the Golffield Cup. My first Baybeats was 2007. Like Baybeats was quite accessible. It's like very non-intimidating, like anyone can go, you know. I remember like I was very blown away and like positively surprised that like there were so many people that like care about like underground music. Because I think we all come from like a Western music background in a sense that we grew up listening to like, you know, American or British music that we see on TV. So I think a lot of like Singaporeans always don't have the highest opinion of like Singapore-made stuff, like locally made stuff, especially if you're not really knowledgeable about it. So to see like hundreds or even could have been like more than 1,000 like people, you know, singing along, moshing, like dancing to like a Vacant Affair who had like screaming and like breakdowns and all that kind of thing. It was quite like wow. And so I was in the Golffield Court at that time. We actually had like a 5-month long tour planned or something. So we got the call. Like someone actually like called me and then asked us to play. I think like 2 months prior, I spoke to the band and then we were like, okay, yeah, let's just like cancel the middle part of that tour because like, you know, that was how like important Baybeats was to us. It was all of our first times. And like for, you know, punks growing up, not thinking that you would be put on the stage at like the local arts hub of Singapore and like play to like thousands of people or whatever, like that wasn't an opportunity that we can give up. Baybeats is a bit scary because like I knew that I was going to be playing to like hundreds of people who will see me next week at the local shows, and you know, especially in front of like our friends and family who, you know, like knew that we were playing music and like sort of like quote unquote like wasting our lives away since we were teenagers. Like you can like travel the world and like play hundreds of shows, but it always hits harder when you're playing to your home crowd. It's like a mix of like styles and different communities that would otherwise never come together into the same place, and it doesn't even like feel weird at all. It feels very natural, it feels very organic. Like on the same stage you can have like a rapper and then like 1 hour later it's like a metalcore band playing, and it's sort of like a reunion of everybody lah. Like, you know, every time like we go Baybeats, you will always see people who like, you know, stop going to shows for many years, but then they will all go to Baybeats because it's like the place to be. Baybeats is the only constant in Singaporean music. Like, you know, they've been here every single year from the very beginning, year one, and they've never stopped, they've never paused, and they've only gotten like bigger and better. Like every single year, even during COVID, you know, they always like just like push on and like get something out, and they've like propelled so many local artists' like career and journey. So I would say that Baybeats to me is one of the cornerstones that make local music what it is here in Singapore. I hope Baybeats, you know, keep keep going, and I'm sure they will, keep doing bigger and better things like what they've always been doing. I hope they continue to give artists the kickstart that they need to their journeys and their careers, like how they've always been doing the last few years.